This meeting is being recorded. Let's share screen. Don't take up much space. All right. So the first video, all right, here's the real deal. The amount of popularity on the 8th house Nexa work is about as popular as the 8th house Nexa. 5 people. So it's like Mother Earth is letting 5 people reincarnate continuously on this planet. That's pretty low and bizarre, but you know what? That's what happens when only 5 people decide to help build an 8th house Nexa. So I don't know where you guys are planning to reincarnate down the road, but if you're watching this video, you're probably some of the few who are like, yeah, here, or on another planet that has the 8th house Nexa build. So it's like a multi-pass. Once you're in the club, you're in, you know. Now, you probably still have to like pass laws and at like certain avatar bodies, etc. There may be different laws in each galaxy or in each planetary system that you may have to ascribe to or attune to. Like in this one, if an alien or like a being, an anthropomorphic ascendio intelligence being decided to come to this planet, they would have to get their ANR marks and make sure that, so they'd have to ascribe to certain laws or protocols of this planetary system and all the issues that were surrounding this planetary system, and actually be of service to be included in the 8th house Nexa program or system. And that would be even if they were already coming from an approved 8th house from another planet. Okay, so it's like going to a different state and then having to get a new driver's license. Chances are is that you'll get it because you'll have the level of intelligence, because you know how to drive a car and you know the rules, the generic rules of the road. That's life. All right, so in the first video, what we did was our primary build around the galaxy. Now that's just a 5th house system, to be fair and honest. An 8th house system looks like one galaxy connecting to another galaxy, and it makes an actual, like, here is an egg and here is an egg, and then here is the connected bridge between the two. So it looks like an 8, and that's why we call it the 8th house Nexa system, or that's one of the reasons why we call it. So we just developed the primary build around the galaxy in a really cheap, not that difficult, like that was our really low level build. But even so, we already started to develop the primary Nexa downloads for Ravenclaw and what we need, the different divergency levels of the mental body, the different mental bodies that need to be activated versus not activated, and also like what a second mental body looks like or what a third mental body looks like in real time in practicality. And so we started getting a lot of the higher downloads for Ravenclaw just after, not the baseline. They're the baseline downloads for Ravenclaw, okay? Based off of just already starting to build our egg and then building our intelligence gateways into this planetary system. We also feel a huge breath of fresh air coming in and new potentiality for growth for people like Michael Burry and Michael Moore and like chess masters around the globe to start to ascendio into Ravenclaw via like a Hufflepuff cook, etc. But before they were deemed as only muggles, but their brain works in super high velocity gateway patterns, and that our new fifth house galactic Nexa, their brain wavelengths attuned to like different planets or different ecosystems or different environments in this galaxy, and they might start getting the downloads to actually do the cellular mutation for a real Ravenclaw. And so this is really exciting and empowering instead of dogmatic in any fashion, because there are men on this planet that are hyper intelligent, like Alex Lightman, that don't get any credit, but their brain runs in super genius capacities or vibes, and they should be easily ascendable into Ravenclaw down the road. And this will be very fun. We also are kind of like a Ravenclaw tech vibe planet. So the tech's not so Ravenclaw, but the people who are a lot more on the side of, I'm going to use my brain in 500,000 ways, and I look like a giant nerd, and that's my way up and out and into the god form. So we kind of run off of that vibe anyway, and it's a very like indigo tendency. Now the problem is that you still have to do all the lower world work and clean out all the lower bodies. So like intelligent people still need a sense of balance and physical integration rather than just cerebral mastery. That's not real cerebral mastery. Cerebral mastery is the full holistic life. They still also have to cook out of their snake brain, which I can guarantee you they all still have. Maybe we will learn how to do a physical cook out of the snake brain in a different way. I highly doubt it, because so they're like these people are masters of Hode, and not, so Ravenclaw is like, we'll easily take the masters of Hode and ascendio them into Ravenclaw. But the thing is that they start to get the higher levels of downloads and the psychic callings to like, oh, there's my lighthouse beacon, I need to go that way, as we begin to build these Nexa systems. So it becomes very empowering, and the more they become real Ravenclaws, the more other children or other ascendios, so intelligence begets itself, and it begins to compound exponentially. So that's how we take care of everybody, and we develop an actual sense of hope and realization for the planet and real enlightenment. So no more slithering gurus charging $20,000 a head to poor people just to get a third eye activation. That's insanity and totally disgusting, and it's completely illegal. So no. We're going to start from our planet instead of the galactic. I think, I'm not sure what Mother Andromeda is asking me to do. But intuitively, I want to say we're going to start from our home tower on the planet. We're going to imagine so then we go Andromeda Galaxy. I wonder if I can Andromeda Galaxy. If you can already feel the difference of the picture of the Milky Way versus Andromeda. And you can see the actual real high level intelligence coming from Andromeda. So my home base would be Andromeda, and it's a kind of a Mother Mary-esque level of extraterrestrials. And that's not all it is, but I belong to a species of royal greys that are ascended. They are evolved. And they are not Hode greys. They are like a Ravenclaw gray. And so they run off of divinity frequencies. And they are specialists at genetic engineering. This is why the genomes and the genetic mutation for the Ascendio actually was one of my jobs. Because we actually have to mutate the entire physical species of humans to be able to do anything and everything. Now, there's a lot of Christ energy in Andromeda, and so this is why we're going to start connecting to this galactic system. Andromeda compared to Earth. So you saw the way Earth vibed around the galaxy was actually not that great. There are more Christ level planets or crystalline planets that are higher intelligence. Mother Earth is pretty young in the spectrum. Mother Earth in comparison to Mother Andromeda. So obviously there's a galactic consciousness versus a planetary. So Mother Earth is rather naive or still battling dogmas, learning higher body, lower body transmutations. So because we still had to clean out the Clippeth, and Mother Earth was still not really understanding how to do everything yet. So she didn't know how to do a proper purge over her own energy field. So we helped to facilitate that. So there are times where Mother Andromeda and I would have to come together and alpha Mother Earth and go, no, that's inappropriate. Okay, so it's very inappropriate to do that to a planet unless you're coming from a higher level galaxy that you understand that that planet is behaving in counterproductive fashions. Because in generic terms, Mother Earth operates at a baseline of Nexa intelligence, at a baseline. So she'll grow, she'll create new greenery, she will produce magic wavelengths, she will create healthy ecosystems and environments. And it's a minimal magical, like it's like Malkuthian Nexa. It's not like, but she still operates off of that wavelength. So at the attunement of a fae, a fairy, so she's still kind of dumb. All right. So then we opened up Tiferet for her, and now she definitely was smart enough to go, I want a Gryffindor above the wheel planet. So the minute that we ascendioed, she was like, yeah, that's my baseline. Because she can understand the difference. All right. But in general, Mother Andromeda is like the alpha level of intelligence. So Mother Andromeda is like the Ravenclaw to Mother Earth, who's like the Hufflepuff. So we're gonna allow Mother Earth to evolve up higher by connecting her to Mother Andromeda's intelligence wavelengths. So it's not just a few star seeds here and there coming from the Andromeda galaxy to elevate Mother Earth. It's actually the entire planetary ecosystem is now downloading Mother Andromeda's intelligentsia. All right. So we're going to imagine our home tower. Now, I have at least 5 different home towers in the Andromeda Galaxy, and I can see them, and they're bricks also. They're brick towers, just the same way. I'm gonna connect by like looking up to the sky. It doesn't matter where my home is in relationship to Andromeda right now, but I know I can do this. I can go to Sky Guide on my phone or my iPod, and I go, where is Andromeda? Hello. So then I go, oh, look, Andromeda Galaxy is that way. Now you need to understand this. It's not always that way. So when we're building our towers, we're building off of flex gels with magnetic wires that detach and reconnect based off of evolving movements, and that prevents construction or destruction of our towers. So it's an intelligence wavelength, but it is still a wavelength nonetheless. So right now, Andromeda is that way. Now, Andromeda is so big that no matter what, I can easily make sure that it arcs to the top of my home planet or my home tower. And we did make our home tower curve to meet up with the antipodal point and to meet up with the North Pole, South Pole accesses. But I like the idea that it connects at Jedi. And begins to develop its own tower. And I only connect to one of them. So it's a tower that is now building a branch to the tower in Andromeda. From the access point of Jedi. And you'll see these compounding cubes that are worlds. And it develops that central neural point. So these look like cable cords instead of homes, because, and we're not, we don't need to do them in brick, but it's nice when we get the wire braid cable cords built, that then we eventually section it off with the Gryffindor magic. Now, if you don't have a home point from Andromeda, find if you can find one psychically that has a Gryffindor tower access portal. So you're like a spaceship trying to find an intergalactic spaceport to plug into. So there are many ministry towers, and not just Gryffindor level towers. There are at least 10 different ministries with access point towers. That would be not a horrible idea. Gryffindor or higher level towers. So proper Geburah. And that's a 6D consciousness or higher. Non-evil. Now, you could also plug into a school. There are about 5 different schools, but they're very Ravenclaw-y. So you can plug into one of those school towers. Or you can find a home of a friend. That might be an ally. And so they might, if you remember those druid chains on the druid charm, from one galaxy to the next, it's creating that cable. Now you may have a guide. By Gryffindor level, you may develop a guide that's referred to as a star jumper. And they're types of guides that will claw through different realms of space to reconnect to old intelligences from different star systems. They're very sacred. And they do a lot of work. So this is how Andromeda behaves. So they go, we're all reptile because nobody even knows you. It doesn't matter how non-reptile they are. They're so calculative of the mirror prism that they just present. It's like Jesus presenting himself as the devil, because they know, he knows exactly how everybody's going to perceive him unless they're of a certain vibration. Or a certain level of enlightenment or intelligence. That's why Jesus got tortured to death, because everybody presented Jesus as the devil. So yay. We have the same level of intelligence still today. There's nothing new. Okay, I'm starting to feel the tower builds connect. And I'm gonna make sure that that central spinal column, I'll call it the central cable, is connecting and accessing the top of this tower to the top of this tower. And this is where the 3 DNA spirals swivel down and swivel up. It has to grow. So I'm picking a spot right here is where one of my towers is. So I'm gonna connect to this tower, but I know I'm also connecting to this tower energetically as well. So pick one, I'm gonna pick this one. And if it's not clean, just like a home, you leave your home and then it becomes filthy and dirty and filled with rotten eggs or the smell of rotten eggs and dead bugs. So we're gonna clean it out, but it should have an appropriate like Gryffindor baseline or higher. Now I'm starting to feel like the different tongues or connects are building those neural patterns. So it almost looks like the Navi unplugging their hair and then it latches, or the little tentacles latch on and then begin to glow. And they start downloading from the tree of souls or those sacred trees. When we download from higher levels of consciousness, then we become higher levels of consciousness. that's simple. Man. And then what we're going to do is make sure that the central column, central cable spine porcupines at diagonals into the towers so they connect and stabilize. So if you're realizing there's a sense of upside down grid that we're doing, that's exactly. So this is the upside. So it's they're more intelligent than we are. We're at the bottom. We're in the world that's undeveloped, and their upside down reality is now downloading into our planet from an upside down perspective, because they're coming from intelligences and wealth beyond means of higher love, and we're suffering. Gee, we're suffering and like and I just read the news and just one homeless person on the street should be enough. Okay, so we're talking about Christ level consciousnesses, like like a homeless person that's antichrist. Like evolved alien societies don't have homelessness. What? So all of those porcupines should begin to stabilize the central cable. And I'm feeling both sides of that giant central column beginning to really grow, porcupine and stabilize. And it should. So mine starts to plug in and then emanate the black tar heroin goo. And that looks creepy and evil. And I have nothing to say other than okay, we're gonna have to clean that up. And so just think of the Mother Weasley forcing the children at Sirius Black's home to do all the psychic cleaning because it was overrun by like years and years of infestation. It to be honest, like my tower feels about the level of evilness that I'd feel on this planet. So it doesn't feel that enlightened, but that's where it's at now, where the planet's at now, and we just spent 9 months bringing like Christ onto the planet. So you're cleaning out the Plymouth and what they might have is a lot more cellular integration of the magic into the body, probably deeper elemental control, older, it feels like much older, archaic magic. Somebody saying this Star Walker instead of Star Jumper. It's the same. And then it plugs in on the other side and you can kind of see it. You might even see beings like seeing the cords and pulling them in. That's creepier. Because you're like, who are those people? And they don't really look like us. They know what to do. So we're plugging it into better. They're helping plug, at least on my end, plug into better elemental template connections. So Earth, we don't really have a good sense of that on Earth, but they seem to have a good sense of it there. So like my body is lacking the elemental connects on a deeper wavelength, and their bodies, when I look at them, have a good, healthy element template. And we send thank yous to them. So my tower is like they don't have like it, they don't have knife rape as an issue there. So that's a lot more, that's already a 500 times more trustworthy than where we're at. But they might have their own issues still. Like I can feel they're still battling pedophilia and other problems. Probably not the people in the tower, but they're the ones, the griffins, you know, that are battling the issues at hand. Okay. Yes, it's nothing like the book or the books in Harry Potter, is it? Because it's working with actual real world problems instead of galactic fantasies of grandeur. Like the griffins aren't battling pedophiles. Like that's what a griffin's job is. It's like healthy boundaries. Not like, oh, Voldemort, we're gonna make sure Voldemort doesn't capture a muggle and then torture it with like it looks very odd. They have a very strong yesod. We have like none. So this is a very magical planet that I'm plugging into. We're in the learning how to just access yesod. Man, that's so low. They're at the point where they're on a planetary wavelength, they're getting their pinnacles of good hode. And that's very, when you're as a planetary system, when you're getting a pinnacle of good hode as a planet, then you know that's like that's Christ. We're getting decent Malkuth, like strong Malkuth on this planet. Oh man. So that would be like the 400-year Kabbalah program. Is Mother Earth is very excited to get to Geburah. We're at Malkuth. Oh man. They know how to cut down my lack of omega vibrations. So that's very Christy of them. Without confessing. They know how to do it without confessing because they're smart. All right, so we're gonna put the Gryffindor lava at each ceiling of the cellular block, ceiling and floor. And if we can, it'd be good to do a Gryffindor lasagna, at least one layer of the Gryffindor lava, the Griffin paste, and then another Gryffindor lava in between every connect. So it really cleans out. And they say the gray paste in each box. So fill each box with the gray paste. We're just you. There's nothing to be afraid of. We're just you. Now, this brings up a deep sense of self-loathing within me. If you feel that way with me all the time, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get you to transmute it. It's a deep sense of self-loathing and shame around your own existence because you know that they're enlightened and you're not. And you're like, yeah, I feel really awful about myself right now. And then you just surrender to the levels of intelligence they do have to provide with grains of salt in between. And that's what the gray paste is for. Without giving our power away to them, but accepting everything that they have to offer. And now we're going to paint the entire cable system in the Griffin Blue Charm. And they say they have the moonbeam technology, but it's very unused because they don't need it. So that's an enlightened planet. They don't need the moonbeam technology. I mean, they're still battling pedophilia, but they don't need moonbeam technology. Okay. So they have their issues, but the moonbeam technology doesn't really counter off the pedophilia. So this is not a Nexa is closed planet that I'm downloading from also. It's an already ascended planet. I'm trying to really think, like, why would we need moonbeams on this planet? It's probably for fun or for show. Or when we're in the dark. To light up the path. Clear out ghosts and stuff. If that's the way. Now, when you start to download from higher intelligence planets, you realize the level of abundance that presents itself in the universe. What the eighth house Nexa does do is bring a sense of intelligence and air. Did you realize the world is not this? It's this plus an entire galaxy it can connect to, and different people and different, I want to say different realities and different laws and different rules. when you're starseed and you're dealing with Earth, it gets very small, even if you travel from one side to the other side of the Earth, and it's just boring. And then you see how limited life is. But when you open up to different layers of the galaxy, you realize there's a lot more out there with a whole new set of potentials. It's like thinking that art school doesn't exist. And then you realize art school exists instead of Stanford or Oxford. It's one of the benefits of the indigo children, definitely the crystal children, as they are much more attuned to the star systems. And do not feel the need to conform. Now it should start lighting up in the neon griffin blue. I might even turn to the Ravenclaw hot pink. Now we'll vacillate between the two. Shocking. Now you may feel the people in your pen pals might understand the state of your existence. So mine are saying, she's like a confessed person because there's not one person on the planet that loves. So they, so they understand that like this is not a really great planet at all. And they start helping and bringing much more juice or love to the existence. Remember, they're at the pinnacle of Hode. They aren't, their planet is just getting their first drops of real hode. Instead of T for she's like a confessed person because there's nobody. So that's what they see when they see me, because their planet is just filled. So it might be like how I see the people in Africa. To give you a frame of reference point, like the people in Africa, I shouldn't be like looking at, they're just a confessed society. But like, if you understand the starvation of the spiritual soul, like, or levels of intelligence, like, so instead of, I'm not going to confess the people of Africa like that, like Ascendio, the chess clubs and ballet clubs, and like anywhere where the highest levels of intelligence, where the people try to uplift themselves in the most Christ-like fashion, like that should be recognized and ascendioed as in the best way possible. So that's how they see us. That's how other societies see us. Pretty sad. Like we're the bottom of the barrel of consciousness. Man. I'm like, I'm Archangel Kamael. They're like, she's a confessed person. You need to understand that. That's what's scary about being in enlightened society. But you also know that they're at the level of intelligence. They know that. And then they're not allowed to confess intergalaxy. They know that. You're not allowed to like confess people on other planets in other star systems that aren't like the, oh, you didn't buy it, you're not allowed to break it, kind of thing. You should be a starseed on your planet if we want to be a confessor on your planet. Yeah. Okay. So you're starting, you get the levels of intelligence coming through. Now we're gonna build a 5th house egg around Andromeda and mirror it to the one we did for the Milky Way. And then it's almost like we're asserting our own love and power. We're going to do all the Protego Totalum spells on that egg. And then do it threefold with the pearlescent goober jellies. Now I got these downloads from Mother Andromeda, so I think it should be fine doing these spells on Mother Andromeda. She constantly asks for it all the time. And then the Salvio Hexia goes. The Fianto Jury purple, grape charm. And I'm trying to think if we want to add anything else. Maybe the honeycomb, the golden honeycomb. And then with the ANR, there is knife rape in Andromeda still, so if you have the Ankh set the cells of the golden honeycombs and start doing some of the ANR work, that's good. And then they turn into sunflowers. So we should have a matching egg around. They should mirror each other. So we do the sunflower Ankh egg on Andromeda and the sunflower Ankh egg on Mother Milky Way, Hufflepuffy. And then they pour the lemon glaze, the clear lemon glaze over Andromeda, over the sunflowers, and then the clear lemon glaze over Mother Milky Way. And then we squeeze the maturity charm in, like Professor McGonagall's tail. That also came from Mother Andromeda, so don't be afraid to use it there. Into Mother Milky Way. And then we have the marshmallow goo in both. And then we feel good. Now, if you want to do the Gryffindor lasagna around Mother Andromeda with the Griffin blue, and then mirror it with Mother Milky Way with the cayenne pepper lava honeycomb. And then builds the dumbbell bar, like twist it around. And then they're starting to say, you're just a Gryffindor. So like I'm exuding more confidence and intelligence around my intentions and they respond in kind. So almost all my downloads come from Andromeda, just so we understand. And then we're gonna throw the anti-knife paint and the peonies. Anti-knife paint just looks like the, the raspberry tiger rose. On the outside of both those eggs and the cable between the two. And that prevents knife emanations or even thoughts to go between our galaxy and theirs. And then we have the peony that we throw on the peach peony that we throw, a giant peach peony that we throw on Mother Andromeda, and then we mirror it, the giant peach peony, to here. And then they say that's going to help with our reptile stuff. So we're reminding them it does. So we have technologies that they haven't really downloaded yet because they still have their issues. Now, if you want to plug in the peonies, little peonies in the sides of the cable or dumbbell between, please feel free. And then we send our love. Thank you. We will connect again in the future. And we wave bye. And then that is it. That's our first 8th house aloha grid. All right, Polly Red out.